All systems go. Clear for liftoff.
What's going on, everybody? Happy Wednesday afternoon with my man Gyiraszin, talking some baseball. 11 games on tap, but yeah, plenty of weather on the slate. We'll get to that in a second. Like one of these games, Minnesota and Cincy, we just have completely blocked off. So we're talking like it's a 10-game slate. Heck, it could be 9 games. It might even be 8 games. Again, we'll talk about weather in a little bit. First of all, we got Bitkin here, Go Collect, Michael Ortiz, Jason Turner, Michael Peterson. Go Collect again. Safety first. Gyiraszin, how many safety meetings thus far today? How many high noons thus far today? How's your day going? Thoughts on this slate?
Not going too bad. It was muggier and shit here earlier, and then it rained like I was telling. Rained like crazy here. Like the drops were humongous, man. Like they just poured like no tomorrow, like a fucking cow pissing on a flat rock. And then it like cooled off. It's like 15 degrees cooler, but it was like in the mid 90s for the last, you know, that Midwest heat too. It's just like you can't even breathe outside. But hey, not complaining. I'd much rather be hot than cold. But yeah, can't complain. It looks like maybe my Tigers might get postponed today, even though it's not in the main slate. But maybe I'll get lucky and we'll get some Paul Skeens versus some Scooble tomorrow. That would be pretty cool, especially you know, for all the baseball world. I think we'd appreciate that. But yeah, I mean, we can't complain. We had a decent night last night. Had you know, obviously the Astros kicked some ass last night. I wish the Yankees would have done a little better. It would have made it a great night for me. But yeah, it looks we did pretty well last night, but we got to get back at it here today. I mean, shit, with the games, like I was saying, we got 11 games and 6 of them have a little bit of minor weather concerns. The 3 that you were, you know, obviously the Cincinnati game, but then the 2 Chicago games are a little bit sketchy. But yeah, we'll talk through it here. Well, there's all kinds of pitching options I think you can actually use today. I think today's going to be a pretty spread out slate, Title. I don't think we really have any like massive, clear, chalky type options today. So I think it's a pretty fun slate. I think you can spread out your offense today if you're MMEing. I don't think it's going to be like yesterday. It pretty much, you know, Nades even ran it through the SaberSim and it gave him 146 out of 150 teams were Astros. So I don't think we're going to have that necessarily today, but yeah, I think it's an interesting one for sure. I mean, this time of year when it starts getting warm and everything starts changing and we start to see those over-unders creep up and, you know, team totals all start getting north of 5. And, you know, it's we're getting into that time of year. We got enough data now from April till now to kind of get a vibe on, you know, how things are progressing through the year. But yeah, interesting one here today. I think we got 4 good pitchers, and then we got a bucket of a bunch of pitchers you could just jumble up like in a snow globe and, you know, get you one out. And I think you'd be, you know, you could be all right. I think there's a handful of options you could use that are cheap, but I think them 4 guys at the top pretty much stand out here today as far as pitching goes.
Yeah, I agree with you. We'll go through pitching like usual. First thing I want to say, fingers crossed, but I'm seeing this bad Wi-Fi up above. I'm hardwired in. I really hope everything is fine. If not, you let me know in the chat. I closed out some tabs. Like if you see me looking at my phone, I got the K-props up on my phone, not on Wi-Fi. I'm doing everything I can over here to try and make it good.
It's all them storms between Michigan and Arizona, Title. I mean, we got a little fuzzy wavelength. We'll be all right.
We should be. I hardwired in. I don't know what's going on, but hopefully y'all can hear me fine. Got to say hi to a couple others. Kenny in here. What's going on? The other Kenny. What's going on to both Kenny? Kenny squared. Jake's in here. Always appreciate that. Salute. Who was it? You were Nades yesterday with the home run call.
I know Nades called Cam Smith, which came
Big
through. Yesterday I had Muncy. But yeah, I don't think he hit a homer unless I went to bed. But hey, I wanted to bring it up again because I saw really what happened even more. Title. Did you see the MLB beat the streak thing? I brought it up yesterday. Some dude had 50 in a row. And if you get 57 in a row, it's on MLB.com. And you pick one hitter to get a hit. and
Beat
you
the
keep
streak?
your streak going, it's free game, whatever. But if you get 57 in a row, they offer you like $5.6 million or some shit like that. It's been going for years. Nobody's even fucking came close. Well, this dude had 50 in a row the other day. They tweet out before the game that this guy picked Jacob Wilson to be the guy, right? So I thought, oh, dude, they jinxed him, all that shit. But it got worse, bro. When I saw what happened, his last at bat, he blooped one over the first baseman's head. It was literally a hit, but the guy never ran to second base, and they called it a fielder's choice, and it beat the guy's streak.
Oh, that was it? That's all he needed? That would have been the million?
He just needed one hit. So his last at bat, he literally blooped one over the first baseman, but the runner on first never really even went halfway or gave it much of an effort and got thrown out going to second. So he got a fielder's choice, which obviously isn't a hit. So it ended that guy's chance at the $5.6 million. I mean, what shit luck is that? Like, holy crap. But
I think it might be this.
That was interesting. That was
is it beat the streak that like I remember doing this in like high school, maybe even middle school. Is that same thing?
Yeah, it's on MLB.com. It's beat the streak. You just pick one hitter every day to get a hit. And if you keep going, you keep going. I used to do it, but then you get pissed if you forget or whatever. But I had I never had that many in a row. I mean, to get 50 in a row, that's nutty. Because some of the games you only got a handful of games. That's impressive. That dude had 50 in a row.
For sure. That's very impressive. Couple other people we got to say hi to before we talk this late. Scooter McGavin, what is going on? Robert Davis, William, Cam, YSN, just started playing MLB DFS. It's honestly not that bad. Our 5-man stack's always in the winner. Not always in the winner, but more times than not, yes. The reason for that is majority of the field do 5-man stack. So like if 70% 5-man stack, it's more likely because more people do it. But yes, how we kind of preach MLB DFS, especially larger slates, 5-2-1s and 5-3s. The reason for that, you need a lot less things to go right. Like, sure, you can pick a one-off on all these teams, and if you get everyone that hits a home run, you're going to probably win. It's really hard to pick that individual hitters to hit home runs, whereas you 5-man stack a person on one team. If that team scores 14, it's a lot more likely those 5 guys on your team did something. So, yes, but also that does include MLB. You should expect to cash like 4 times a month, like 1 time a week at best. The reason for that, you're 5-man stacking. If your 5-man stack scores 2 runs, you're not going to cash. You don't even get close. Again, tournaments, it's so top heavy. You don't really care about min cash too much. But yes, 5-2-1s, 5-3s are the way to play MLB DFS. And again, if you are new, perfect. More education, MLB. There's a 2-hour education video in MLB talking about stacking, different tournaments, different styles, stuff like that. So definitely recommend checking that out if you're new to MLB DFS. And again, you do have to be a member for the education video, but no better time. Again, this is the similar code that we had with DGen 75. It's the same thing, just different. It's MLB 75 instead of DGen 75. Of course, RIP, the big man above, but no better time. So just $24 for the first month. You would get all of our projections, ownership, SaberSim, which we are showing on here, access to the best Discord around, and then those education videos we're talking about. You get all of that, less than $1 a day. Absolutely cannot beat it. We would love to have you. Next thing you know, NFL will be around the corner. But hey, even without NFL, PGA going on, massive contest, locks tomorrow. Shout out to GS Luke. He'll be on later. NBA, still hopefully 2 games left. I'm hoping for a game 7. Showdown slate plan. Rio does a great job. MLB, of course. MMA this weekend. Stanley Cup's over. Shout out to the Panthers. And then NASCAR still goes on in big prizes. So you absolutely cannot beat it. Less than $1 a day for all the content, education courses, and the Discord. We would love to have you. You are welcome. Mark F., what's going on? Man, this sounds brutal. Anything that costs you $1 million, but I don't remember the exact hit. You will never forget that hit, I'm sure.
Yeah, if you play enough DFS, there's moments I could sit down with you and tell you moments and stuff that literally still are just eat me up, man.
You should have saw yesterday a poker, and then we'll get. I know we don't have too much time to waste. 250 super high roller. I was watching the final table. Buddy shoves all in. It's heads up. They just get there. Like 48 million and 46 million of the stack, something like that. He just like pretty much rips it. Ace jack. Other dude snap calls ace queen. So we're talking right now 78-22 or something because there was something with a chop, something in there, those odds. Right on the flop, a jack. $1.7 million swing, 4.7 mil to first, 3 mil to second. And we watched the next hand. I was watching my brother-in-law. It was aces versus king 5. Flop was a king. Turn was a 5. But then the river paired the board, so the aces won. So just literally those 2 hands right away, and I equate a lot to DFS, you can be a favorite. You can be in first place by 14 points with 1 at bat left. You can be in a lot of good spots. Shout out to Birdie Monster. Just took second for $300K. What first place was a milli, but he was talking about like a 58-foot putt or something. That's like a 2% outcome. That happens in life. That happens in gambling. So even if you really think you got her, you have a big edge. It also comes down to bankroll management. You need skill. You also do need a lot of luck at the end of the day, especially when tournaments are so top heavy. So a little poker reference there. I mean, what a sick final table yesterday. It was an insane sweat. But yeah, me too,
man. I missed at a live final title, and I came back. I was losing $300K. I was in like second place for $500,000. And then I took a piss, and next thing I know, I come back, and my quarterback threw a pick. Something else, somebody scored. I was like in 6th place. I was like, literally, what happened?
That's what happens. It's crazy. I love it. Yep, I was watching poker go for sure. Poker's awesome. Look at that. Well, Kenny W, he plays big boy high stakes. But yeah, last play of the game, $900K. And then it goes the other way sometimes. The Xavier Worthy catch in the Super Bowl. I was losing like $7,000. He caught it. I won 110. Like one play. It happens in good. It happens in bad. But most of the time, people do remember the bad. That's just and that's just moral of the story. Bankroll management in all forms of gambling. You have a huge edge, whatever it may be. 10% outcomes happen. 5% outcomes happen. All right, that's enough of that, though. Was there anything else? Anyone I missed saying hi to? Cam the man, what's going on? We will talk right there. I will let Gyiraszin actually start that off. Are you worried about the matchup for Chris Sale at all? 8K and above. Oh, talk about this Mizorowski dude as well. 102, 103. Like, this dude throws gas for the Brewers. Excited for that. So 8K and above that pitcher. What are we doing?
Yeah, I mean, obviously – we got that Nick Lodolo down there at the bottom. We probably, obviously.
Let me say that. I'm going to interrupt you quick because you're right. I X'd out looking at Kevin Ross weather reports. He has orange red for Minnesota and Cincy. The second I see any red, we are going to pretend that game does not play. I'd be shocked if you wanted to play anything in that game with the weather. So we're talking like it's a 10-game slate. I just completely X'd everyone out there. Couple other weather games, though. St. Louis White Sox, orange-yellow. That's concerning. Milwaukee, Chicago, orange-yellow. That is concerning. The other one, the Angels in New York, it's yellow. So I'll act like that plays. But 3 games, we're pretending this one's not even going to go. White Sox, Cardinals, and then Brewers, Cubs very well might not play. We will talk like it does play. But sorry about that. Take it away.
No. So, but then we'll move up to this Mizorowski kid you were talking about. First start, he had 81 pitches. He looked pretty good. I mean, dude definitely
sprained his ankle.
Throw some gas.
You see that? He sprained his ankle. That's why he came out.
Yeah, what?
It went like that. Like he was going to keep going. I mean, he was pitching phenomenal.
He had a no-hitter, didn't he?
Yeah, through 5. Yeah, I don't know if he left.
Yeah, and then he hurt his – you're right. I totally forgot about that. Now – I think that might be a little concerning. I think it was his landing ankle, if I'm not.
It was his push. I think it was his push off, his right one.
Okay.
Yeah.
But yeah, I remember when he went out, I was thinking, man, that kind of sucks for him. But he had a high pitch count. Obviously, he went out in the 5th inning, he had 81 pitches. So he wasn't not like they were going to let him finish a no-hitter or anything. But, I mean, he's got a patient Cubs team. You read about the kid, and, he's a big arm, but had some control issues, and now you're going to get a Cubs team, one of the better offenses in baseball. The Cubs are pretty patient too. They got, Haps at 12%, Tucker 13.5%, Bush 10%, Carson Kelly 16%. Suzuki, Crow, and Swanson are get happy stick sometimes and swing a little too much, but for the most part, the Cubs are pretty patient. So I think Mizorowski, it's just kind of a tough read, really. I mean, he's got a tough matchup. I mean, we don't know who he really is. Like, if this guy was like, becomes one of the top pitchers, I wouldn't be concerned about his matchup. But this is not very good matchup for him. So, I mean, I'm a little concerned there, but I'm still leaving it in the pool. And there is a little bit weather concern in that Chicago game. So, Tyon, I just wish had a little bit more K upside. He's actually looked pretty decent. He's got 5 wins in a row too, by the way, in his last 5 starts. So I think that's something to be said too. I mean, he's been going the 6 over that 6 inning mark here. He's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 times in a row. And actually it's been 8 out of 9 times he's been over 6 innings. So I think Tyon is interesting, but I just wish his K rate was just a little bit higher. And I think with the guys we have up top, I think we have some pitchers that could run a little ahead of the rest of the pack and could separate themselves. Not like yesterday where I didn't feel like we really had too many high-end, upside arms that I was really concerned about. But when you got a guy like Chris Sale on your slate, you might want to start, thinking about going too low with your pitch and getting too risky and trying to get too cute. But and then moving up to these top 4 now. So we got Bubic against Texas. Bubic has looked pretty good his last few starts out. So, you get a little bit of discount off the 2. You're like about a $1,200 discount off of Chris Sale. I mean, Bubic, he's sitting here, get a Rangers team. He's at about 26% K rate. I don't mind Bubic at all. I think he's going to probably be the lower owned of the other 3. So I think he's kind of a pivot for me off of the other 3. I think Sonny Gray is going to get some love just because he's cheaper. He's $1,000 cheaper than Sale. He gets a White Sox team, and I think Sonny Gray is going to get some love. But I think between the 2, Valdez. The only thing that scares me about Valdez is the weather. It's hot as balls out there in Sacramento. He's playing in a small park, but he's at over 30% K rate, keeps the ball on the ground. Maybe this is what we need, that needs to be had, but my only concern is that weather out there. And I think that's why I'd have a difference between him and Valdez, but I got Sale number 1. I don't really give a shit if it's the Mets or not. I really don't care, man. Chris Sale is just been absolutely just unbelievable, man. 11 Ks, 10 Ks, 8 Ks. He's been over the 100 pitch mark. The dude, he's given up, in his last 5 starts, he's only given up 1 earned run, not even more than 1 earned run his last 5 starts. He's been over this pretty much at 7 innings. It's about as safe as you get. I think you can pretty much expect, I would say, pretty much 27 to 30 some points out of Chris Sale tonight. I think that's what you're going to get. So I think it's hard to pass up on Sale. I think you can mix up your SP2s over there on DK. But, there's some cheaper options you could look at, too, to get some decent bats. But I think Chris Sale, to me, is pretty much almost a lock button for me, especially on DK.
He's by far my favorite, too. The thing also on this slate is, there's so many cheap bats. It's pretty much the Dodgers are the only team, if you want to, play Sale Framber, that you might not be able to 5-man the Dodgers. And shout out our man Sheets, coming off 100K shipper with those Dodgers yesterday. But outside of them, you the Astros who have a high team total, the Cardinals if the game plays, the Braves even, there's so many cheap bats that you can, the Yankees, yes, they have a couple big bats up top like Judge and stuff, but you can go Sale and pair him with a cheaper pitcher. You can also 5-man the Yankees. You might have to mix in the bottom of the order a little bit and play Sale and Framber. So when salary is not that big of a concern and we're sorting by projection at pitching, look at this. All these guys are priced up, but over 2 points higher is Bubic to the next Sale. I was he's 5 points almost higher than Bradley projected. It just, I want it. And he should be 11-7, I think. He should be 12K. Most of my teams, I do think I want one of Sale Framber. Now, another interesting talking point. These guys above 8K. Again, I did cross off the Ladola Ober. I don't think anyone's going to play him. I don't think we can. The game probably will be canceled. But Mizorowski, Tyon, and Sonny Gray, these 3 all have weather concerns. Again, it's orange-yellow in St. Louis and Chicago and Milwaukee and Chicago. So the White Sox, Cubs obviously playing at home, the Midwest. But I am reading Ross Weather Report in his breakdown. it seems like both would be a late start. And if that's the case, pitchers are fine. And if people are worried about weather, like I just don't know what this ownership's going to be. If people are going to be worried about weather a little bit, we could easily see Sale like 40%. Framber will be higher than Sonny maybe at 25. And then we could see Sonny Gray at like 17%. We could see Tyan at like 6%. Maybe Bubik comes down to 22. Like I think we're looking more something like this. And again, we have, if the green light is given by Roth for this game, I do think Sonny Gray's owned. I want to play Sonny Gray though. I like picking on the White Sox. I do think Framber and Sale will be higher owned. So I'm looking at that. I also think Bubik's a pivot, but if St. Louis gets like scratched off, more people will gravitate to Bubik and Framber and Sale. Like these guys will all even be higher owned. So we do have to really.
That's the thing we got to talk, not to interrupt you, but the thing we got to talk about here is because we have a handful of games that are in jeopardy. We can almost assume that Cincinnati game is going to be gone, but these Chicago games, you know, like if we lose one of them, what's going to end up happening? You know, like, and I think that could be a difference in what's going to, like the slate, like you said, no Sonny Gray. Where's that ownership going to go? They're going to just pay up a little bit more to get up to a higher pitcher, or are they going to drop down to Taj Bradley, or are they going to, you know, and get an extra bat? So I think if there is a PPD outside of that Minnesota-Cincinnati game, the outlook of the slate could definitely change because, like you're saying, we got pitchers that it could be chalky in some of these games. So, yeah, it's interesting, actually, outlook of the whole slate.
100%. That'll change a lot. I mean, people are going to play Taj Bradley regardless. We're going to talk 8K and below, but just look at ownership with all these other around. Like, look at the projection. 15, like Yarbrough down there at 13 is going to get some, but Taj will be hammered regardless. If we lose Sonny Gray, Bubik, Framber, Sale all get even higher. I want to say a couple K props, then I'll let you talk 8K and below. Sale leads the slate, 7.5, minus 140 on the under. 6.5 for Sonny Gray at minus 135 on the under. That comes in number 3. Bubik's number 4, 6.5, minus 160 on the under. And Framber comes in number 2, 6.5, minus 115 on the over. So Sale, Framber, Sonny, Bubik in terms of K props, exactly like they're priced. The only other 5.5 K prop on the slate is Taj Bradley, and that's minus 120 on the over. Good segue right to him. I mean, I think it's very, like, he's the clear guy down here. I think Erod's an interesting pivot. You don't like Toronto much. Pitchers Park. Yeah, I guess they've been hitting the ball a little bit as of late, but Erod, what's his K prop? 4.5, minus 125 on the under. If he can get me 5 innings, 5 Ks, something like that, or maybe just Bradley explodes. The top tier guys get you like 17, 18 a mediocre game, and 14 and spending up at bats is enough. Do I love Erod? No, but I think he's the direct pivot in play for me. And yeah, I'll let you talk about Yarbrough or any guys below that, but it is really gross. And that is why most of my lineups, if not all, I think would have at least one of Sale, Framber, Sonny Gray, or Bubik. And again, we're not starving for value in terms, like when we're talking bats. Pretty much the Dodgers are the only team. Yankees, if you want to just really top of the order. But even so, they're not nearly as expensive as the Dodgers. So 8K and below, it's Taj Bradley, and pretty much everything after that is different. 2-pitcher site on DraftKings. What can you make a case for?
Yeah, I mean, I think like when you're looking at pitching, you know, like when I like to look at it like, all right, I got these guys who I think have upside that could get me. So how many guys are in this bucket that can burn me? And then how many other guys do I have over here that I think are serviceable that could get me, you know, get the job done, but are a little bit more risky. So I think today we got 4 dudes like, you know, we were talking about in that top upper bucket. And, you know, are all 4 going to fail? Maybe if we get, you know, Gray postponed. But I think, you know, the chances of 2 of the 4 of these having a really good night are probably pretty good. So you're going to have pretty much 1, if not 2 of these 4, I would assume. But, yeah, I mean, you get Taj Bradley. I mean, Baltimore obviously isn't hitting the way they should be. I mean, Bradley, his last 2 starts haven't been all that good. He only went 4 innings. He did give up 7 earned runs. But the 3 starts before that, 7 innings, 6 innings. He only gave up, you know, 2 earned runs, 0 earned runs. So he definitely needs to get rid of the walks. He seems like he gets in control problems. The last 2 starts, he had 6 walks, but in the mid 80s. I mean, I think Bradley's risky, But on a slate like today at 7,400 against a Baltimore team, I think the risk is definitely warranted here. I think Bradley is going to be probably the chalkier guy below 8K, I would assume, here out of everybody. I mean, obviously we can't play Ober. I'm not really interested in Blackburn against Atlanta. Corbin against Kansas City. I mean, Kansas City just doesn't strike out enough for me for me to play Patrick Corbin. I'd have to squeeze that one there. I'd have to drink a lot tonight to be able to play some Patrick Corbin. I mean, Erod, he'll have a good start every now and then, but he's your, epitome of being totally shit or, being decent. And, a lot of times he's only getting 3 to 4 strikeouts anyway. So Erod, I feel like I'm only getting something out of him 20% of the time. So I think it's just kind of risky, but I mean, you could keep him in your pool. Verlander's coming off an injury. He's going to be on a pitch count. I looked it up. He didn't even have a rehab start. He just threw a simulated game and basically only threw 60 pitches. So I don't see Verlander even going that long. Plus we know his strikeouts aren't the same. I think Yarbrough, you could maybe make an argument for Yarbrough. I think Logan Allen, you can make an argument for too, if you wanted to look down below. But other than that, I don't really want any of these other guys. Severino, I just can't. I can't do it, especially in Sacramento. But, Burke sucks. I mean, St. Louis probably should smash him. But, I don't mind Logan Allen, though. I think he's interesting down there. I think that would be my cheap punt guy if I was really wanting to pay up for some bats. Like, if you wanted to go Sale and Logan Allen and go do some double lefties, let's do it. I think we could get away with that.
Yeah, I don't mind the Logan Allen shout. I mean, we're really you're hoping for 13, I think, when you're playing any of these guys down below. What are your thoughts? Our man Go Collect mentioned Yarbrough and Sheehan. You did mention Yarbrough, who projects decently well, getting a little ownership. Like, I'm looking at the pitch count. Sure, like, I'll play. Yankees should score runs. Angels, I don't love, like, with Trout in the lineup, it's a lot scarier to play pitchers against them, but still they have one of the lower mid-team totals on the slate. He's one of the cheapest pitchers on the slate, and his pitch count's good. So just naturally, yeah, like 6.5K, he'd be in play for me. What about Sheehan, though, was the other one that Go Collect mentioned. Like, what are we thinking the pitch count's going to go? We see Sheehan projected for over 10, Wroblewski projected for over 10. Looks like Sheehan will get the start, and then Wroblewski will be like the long reliever after that. Do you have any good like pitch count leans for these guys? Can you play either of these two?
I was looking around to see if I'd get a pitch count guess. I think he's a total opener. I don't even think he hasn't
pitched. He hasn't pitched all year. Like, I think I'd rather probably take a shot on the Wroblewski guy if I had to. I think he has a higher pitch count. Obviously, Saber disagrees. I will say, like, Saber, like the Logan Gilbert we had recently, where Saber had him projected like 92 pitches or something. Then they came out, like, they updated it later. This number very well could be updated. And his projection is because he's projected at 74 pitches. Like, I just don't see how it's even close to that. So I would X out Sheehan. Again, if you or anyone in chat has a strong lean on pitch count, let us know. I just do not think it's going to be high enough at all. I don't even think you can really play Wroblewski. Like, I'd rather play Logan Allen. I don't hate, I guess, Eric Lauer. Like, if I had to, like, I'm fine playing pitchers in Toronto. The roof will be closed. Erod's very cheap. Lauer's very cheap. Again, most of my teams will be these. But if I'm playing Sale Lauer, then I can 5-man the Dodgers. So I would keep them in the pool, I guess, for that reason. However, you like Logan Allen a little bit. So maybe you just go Logan Allen and don't play Lauer. But looking at it here, like, I doubt I really get tie on. My pool,
like,
I think,
Logan Allen to me
like
is like
this.
Dean Kramer yesterday. Like, I mentioned Dean Kramer yesterday. I mean, he ended up having a pretty good game, not overwhelming, but for his price, I mean, you got out of him what you needed. I mean, if it helped you get some better bats, but looking a little bit more at Yarbrough, I don't mind Yarbrough actually kind of looking more into it than I did earlier. I mean, you look at some of these strikeout percentages for these righties on the Angels against lefties. I mean, Neto's 31%, Shunnell's only at 16, but Trout has been terrible. He's at like 50 some, obviously not as many plate appearances. Ward's at 42, Soler 28, Hoppe's 28, Odell 29. I mean, there's a lot of strikeouts that could be had for Yarbrough. I mean, he does walk 11% of righties, mid-ground ball pitcher, a little bit more fly balls to right side. But, I mean, the Angels got all kinds of power there. You know, I think it's risky, though. Like I said, like there's a bunch of guys in that second bucket that I think are risky that could have a decent game. I mean, probably a handful of these guys will down there. It's just picking the right ones. But I still think, you know, these top four pitchers today kind of stand out. Like you said, almost 2 points right there in the projections drop from the top four down to the fifth at Bradley. I mean, I think today I think it's more so important today to have one of these top guys, because if Chris Sale goes out and throws 35, gets 35 DK points or 60 FanDuel points, I mean, somebody's going to make a lineup that's with 11 games that's going to have a winner. I mean, and they're going to be on it. So, I mean, that's just the way it works.
Yeah. Again, to round out our thoughts, or it sounds like both of our thoughts, my thoughts for sure at pitching, one of these four I would make a rule, and that is assuming like the Sonny Gray game's good. There's no concern there. It seems like if the game does play in Chicago, both the Chicago games, Roth, it sounds like, says that it'll be a late start and go, which is fine at pitching. Again, we have to monitor that. Assuming that game does play, at ownership, I think Sonny Gray would actually be my favorite. Then I would go Chris Sale. Then I would go Taj Bradley. And then I would go Framber, I think. But I would make a rule in 20 and below to have at least one of these four pitchers. Again, and like maybe one of these guys or two of these guys have a good game down there, but it's so risky. And just say, even if you got the perfect Erod and Logan Allen game, you still need to get the bats right. Like just because you got the two cheap pitchers right doesn't mean you're going to necessarily win. They can both score 20 and you couldn't even be sniffing min cash because you just picked the wrong stack with it. So yeah, I'd make it easy. Min one, these four. After that, I'd be fine rotating any of these in, and I'd let the power of Saber Sim do its thing after that. Any final thoughts at pitching before we talk some bets?
No, I think there's plenty of ways to get different at bats. We don't have really too many chalky bats, so I feel a little more comfortable being chalky with my pitching today. All
right, I like it. We'll get to let me pull up again. I think sounds like everything's good with the Wi-Fi. I'm still not going to pull up DraftKings. Computer sometimes slows down a bit, so let me pull up the over-unders. All right, there we go, the favorites, and I will be doing it that way. First game of the day, or of the slate, the Yankees and the Angels. Minus 231 favorites are the Yankees. 9.5 total in this one, which is one of the bigger on the slate. Yankees, one of the highest team totals on the slate. Actually, the highest, I believe. Getting some ownership, not too much. Again, this is what I was saying, though. Like, if you want to stack 1 through 5, you can stack 1 through 5 and play Chris Sale very easily. We have Jazz at 5-1, Judge at 6-6. Everyone else is below 5K. So, like, I think there will be higher owned than what we're showing. They haven't really been hitting the ball much, but it's still small park, solid hitting weather, good lineup. Yeah, talk about the Yankees. And then Yarbrough's going to get a little ownership. I'm not sure we need direct leverage. These guys don't grade out too well in the hitter rankings. Yeah, Angels fall down the list for me. But what are your thoughts on Yankees and the Angels?
Yeah, Tight. I was sitting last night in my summer bowling league watching some games on my phone, and I was wanting to puke in my high noon every time another inning went by and the Yankees didn't score any fucking runs off Kyle damn Hendricks. What is your problem? Like, come on. Like, that is just pathetic. So, I mean, after that debacle, it's like, you know, it's like zipping your dinghy up in your zipper again. Like, that shit fucking, you're not going to do that again.
I remember doing that when I was like 6 years old, and I still remember
you
the
don't
pain.
do it again.
No, hell no. Those onesie pajamas, oh my gosh, I will never forget
things
that.
In life you do one time, you just don't do again. You know, it's like, yeah, I mean, but, you know, you sit here and you want to like the Yankees. I mean, this guy here, he does have some ground ball lean here to the right side. I mean, almost 60%, 45 to the left side. Fly balls are higher to the left side. He's almost 30% left side. So with that being said, I mean, he's got walk issues. He's a low strikeout pitcher. I mean, you'd think, great, the Yankees should be able to tear this guy's ass off. I mean, and the Angel bullpen sucks my ass. So it's like, come on, Yankees. It's all lined up here for you. Let's get it together and get some runs. But, you know, what is kind of Now let's ask ourselves here, like, are we going to have to worry about Stanton pinch hitting? Who is he going to pinch hit for? You know what I'm saying? Like, Stanton's back now. Like, you look at their lineup and you're thinking, all right, who's Stanton could he hit for if he's going to be in the lineup today? I didn't drop it and see if the lineup was dropped. But, I mean, I'm not worried about Stanton coming in. What if he's not going to start, then I don't know, man. I think he could come in as a pitch hitter.
We have the lineup. We have the lineup. Stanton's not in it. Grisham, Judge, Bellinger, Goldie, Jazz, Ben Rice, Volpe, Dominguez, Peraza.
Yeah. So, I mean, I'm just a little concerned. I'm going to have to keep my eyeballs on that one and see how they play Stanton here. But, yeah, I mean, you'd think the Yankees, I mean, I got them graded as one of my highest stacks, but it's like damned if you do and damned if you don't kind of thing here. But they should do fairly well against this guy. I mean, it all lines up, but they couldn't hit Kyle Hendricks. So it's like,
I'm playing the Yankees. They're my favorite stack. You can play them in so many ways.
Yeah, the lefties, they fill out all the positions in the middle. I mean, yeah, I mean,
you do concern me a little bit with this.
I don't argue with you if you say you can't do it and go back to it, but I get it.
Yeah, no doubt they're ice cold. 11-game slate, like their ownership will be in check with the 11-game slate, them being a little cold, but they're still no doubt going to get ownership. Highest run total on the slate. Just a great part to hit in. The lineup's good. You do have me a little concerned with Stanton, though, the pinch hit stuff.
I mean, could he get pitch hit? Could Ben Rice get pitch hit for? You know, it's like I don't know, man. I'd really like to see how this plays out because, I mean, they're not paying that guy that kind of money to sit there and just walk off the bench and pitch hit once in a while. I mean, I just want to see how they integrate him in the team. Yanks,
man. Yeah, Roth has it as yellow. Most times, yellow means like he does not think it's going to get rained out. We have 2 games orange yellow that are a lot more concerning. St. Louis, the White Sox, Milwaukee, and the Reds, or in Chicago, Cubs. Then we have Minnesota and the Reds. That's orange red. So I would definitely bet against this game being rained out based on what I'm seeing with Ross stuff. That's all I look at.
It could be a delay. It does say there could be some pop-up storms like right as the game starts, but he does feel as if the game should play.
But again, he did say like he reserves the right to increase the risk based on like the later the afternoon goes, which he always does. So it's not 100% safe, but right now I would bet on the game playing just sheerly. If Roth doesn't think it plays, he would put it as orange or red. So that's what I got there. All right, we'll keep it rolling.
Scooters, we got boots on the ground title. We got some boots on the ground. He says sun's out in New York City.
Perfect. Love that. All right, let's keep it rolling. Next game, no time to waste. We have the Toronto Blue Jays and the D-backs. Blue Jays, -112 favorites, 8.5 total, some juice on the over. I mentioned, like, I think Erod is a fine pivot. I think Lauer, with that his price tag, is fine. But if I was playing 20 teams, I also would probably include at least one Blue Jays stack. Like, Erod can be hit hard on both sides of the plate. I do prefer the Blue Jays to the D-backs if having to choose. All their prices, very cheap. You can play Sale, Framber, 5-man Blue Jays, and move on with your day. Again, they definitely fall down my list as my favorite stacks. However, they're in play. 3-man's mini stacks, I prefer it. If you do want Framber, Sale, I don't think 5-manning the Blue Jays is the craziest thing. Do you have an interest on either side of this game?
I mean, I got some interest in Bert and Ernie Clement over there. I mean, that dude absolutely tears the shit out of lefties. He's got 496 WOBA against lefties. So he'd be interesting. Vladdy ain't too far behind him at 415. I mean, if you're looking for a cheaper one-off, I think Ernie would be somebody I'd look at against Erod. I think I'd be happy with Ernie and his 496 WOBA. That's impressive.
No, is that it? Like just mini stacks, one-offs at best, no D-backs for you?
Arizona has been pretty good all year against just basically against everybody. I mean, but I just don't have them ranked high enough against Lauer. I think the bullpen's decent for Toronto. I don't know. I just don't have them high enough. I think there's other spots here that I like. But I mean, we start losing games, that definitely could come into play. I just don't have them in my range.
People got me dying. Dude, Jake's praising Jesus. He has zipped his ding dong we got down here.
See, that's what I like about our show. Like, you get a little side topic going sometimes, and we can just sit and giggle about it.
For sure. Because, right when you said, I will never forget that. I was a little ass kid. I don't remember much, but I do remember the pain right there.
Now, I will tell you, Title, I got stung pretty close to the boys by a wasp. Went up in my shorts when I was riding my bike, and I was like, ooh, and it like got me like close to the boys. I'll never forget like praying that, they didn't get in the way and the bee didn't get, because I remember like talking to somebody else and they were like freaking me out. Dude, it was swell up like a coconut. And I would, like, fuck, that's not nothing you want to see happen to yourself. But yeah, I was really close to, there was a bee floating around by the family jewels. And I remember panicking like no tomorrow, Title. Forget that.
I think I just saw it. Yeah, that's brutal. I don't know. I don't want to say something that's not necessarily true. I thought I saw something on Twitter that someone got stung in the mouth by a bee and died.
Yeah, it was like it was at one of those polo matches. It was like some rich dude.
Man, that is scary. Yeah. Wow.
Yeah, no, that's why I don't like. Like if you asked me to go to Australia, Title, I'd probably tell you no thanks. Send me somewhere else, because I'd be freaked out about every damn bug. I don't know what it is. I'd be like, what the hell is that shit, man? And I've heard the bugs there are like ridiculously huge. So there ain't no way, man. I wouldn't be able to sleep for shit. I'd be worried about crap crawling at me. Hell to the no.
I heard Australia is pretty dope, but now you got me a little. You got me a little scared about that.
I'd be freaked out, man. I'd have to be somewhere I know bugs wouldn't get to me. There's just no way, man. Spiders, no way. Call me a wussy all you want. I don't even care.
Shout out Sheets. 100K richer is the man, the myth,
better than Kelsey's nuts.
All right, let's keep it rolling. Again, we are skipping this Cincinnati and the Twins game. We just do not think Roth doesn't think it'll play. Orange, red is bad. I just full cross off 11-game slate, make it a 10-game slate. I don't think messing with that is sharp. We will talk about the Braves. Actually, I'm going to group these two together because I don't think you're going to have any interest in the Mets. So we pretty much have three teams, and I'm not sure how much interest you'll have in the O's. However, you will get some direct leverage against Taj Bradley. But Braves, pretty high team total. Again, outside of Acuna and Matt Olson, like these guys are so cheap. You can stack 1 through 5 and play Sale and Framber. I'm almost positive. I'll do the math when you're talking, but you can play the Braves. I think the Braves are a very solid stack on this slate. Blackburn is a ground ball pitcher. Thoughts on Braves, Rays, and the O's? I assume you're not playing the Mets.
Yeah, Blackburn isn't anything overwhelming. His strikeout percentages are bad. 13% to lefties, 15% to righties. Woba, 386 to righties, 347 to lefties. He does have more ground balls, as you mentioned, 20% higher to lefties than righties. But, we got a low K pitcher who's, not going to be missing any bats, obviously. I like everybody on the team except Alex Verdugo. I just can't stomach playing Alex Verdugo. But other than that, I think the Braves are in play. I got him in one of my top stacks.
Verdugo's in the 2-hole.
I still can't do it. There's just certain times you just still can't do it. I just can't do it. That guy just, I don't know, man. I still don't understand why they even have him up there.
That's fair. So I do have to take back a little what I said. You cannot go Framber, Sale, and 5-man the top of the order. But I went Sale, Bubic, and instead of Matt Olson, I went Albies, second base position, and you have 2,300 roughly left. So you can play one of the top 2 pitchers, and then if you play Taj Bradley, then you can 5-man it. If you play Sonny or Bubic, you'd have to take out an Acuna or a Matt Olson, but you can still play one of them. Play the Rileys. You can 5-man this team with Sale and a pitcher that's not completely a punt. And so just saying that, there's so many ways to play the Braves. I like it. Now, you don't like Verdugo. Ham hates Verdugo, so maybe leave him out in the single entry stuff. I wouldn't exit out and Saber Sim. Nick Allen's a guy I almost never click on. However, he is shortstop eligible, 2,400. He shout out Cheats again. I keep shouting him out a lot. If you win 100K, I'll shout you out all day long, though. he had guys with like, Ohtani scored 3, I think, for Sheets in his winner yesterday. So that shows you don't have to be perfect. Obviously, at the Paz double dong, Smith double dong, like he got everything else right. But you can win with a Nick Allen getting you 3 points or 6 points if no shortstops go off because of the price tag and what it makes it work. So, yeah, pretty much 1 through 9, Verdugo, Allen, the least favorites, but you can play this in a lot of different ways. Braves, one of my favorites. What did you say about the Rays or the O's?
Not really interested in. I'm not interested in either one of those. I mean, you could look at the Rays been hot as shit, really, against Rogers. If you want to look at the Rays, I mean, they've been one of the better hitting teams in baseball. I mean, especially win wise. But How's
the bullpen for the O's?
What's that?
How's the O's bullpen?
The O's bullpen, I think, is right in the middle of the stack, if I'm not mistaken. I'll just check it here for you.
Yeah, I mean,
they're actually 1, 2. They actually climbed up the rank of the shittiness. So they're 5th. They're 8th worst bullpen in baseball.
I like the Rays a little bit. 8th worst. Rogers, he's a ground ball pitcher, but he doesn't miss many bats. Bad bullpen behind. Very fair pricing. Cheap pricing. No, not too much ownership. Great hitting weather. Wind blown out a little bit. 85 degrees. I'm in on the Rays. I like him as cheap stuff. You easily can play Sale, Framber, and go after that. So I'm in on these Rays. Like Danny Jansen, anytime I see him, 8-hole, 2,900, he's got some pop. Like I'm fine playing this team 1 through 9. I like the Rays. All right, we'll keep it rolling. Group in these next 2 games as well. Again, part of it is White Sox Cardinals. It might not play. It might play. It sounds like if it does, it's a delayed start. I'm not playing the White Sox against one of my favorite pitchers in Sonny Gray. The Cardinals, though, if the game is a green light, I do expect to be one of the higher owned teams on the slate. Solid team total, very fair pricing. The Royals and the Rangers. I mean, some people are going to play these Royals against Corbin. I'll let you talk about that. I'm indifferent to this bottom game. I don't like the Rangers. I like Bubik. The Royals, you can always pick on Patrick Corbin, but man, that pitcher ranking, it's a lot higher than I expected. So what are you doing? Cardinals, White Sox, Royals, Rangers.
Yeah, I mean, Sean Burke isn't very good. I just wish the Cardinals, I like the stack overall. I like the top half of that lineup. I mean, you look at Burke, he's kind of reverse splitsy. He's only 15% K rate against righties. He's 20% against lefties. He does walk quite a bit of lefties too, so he could get himself in trouble. But these Cardinals are going to pretty much, I mean, what do they got here? Six righties. I mean, the fly ball percentage is 30%, a little bit high, low ground balls. I mean, the WOBA he gives up to righties is 366. So, I mean, I do like Wynn, Herrera, Contreras, Arnendo. I don't mind these guys here. I would probably just more or less just full stack it, maybe even a mini if you wanted to. But yeah, I think the Cardinals definitely play. I mean, you look at the game yesterday. I was looking; they had 12 runs title, and I think they only had like 4 extra base hits or something. Like it was like just single you to death, run a couple guys around, score some runs. There wasn't. I don't even think they hit a home run yesterday. I'm pretty sure they didn't. But yeah, I mean, I think the Cardinals are definitely played. The White Sox, we know their bullpen just absolutely is not very good either.
What about Rangers, Royals? I'm not picking on Bubik. The Corbin stuff, he can limit damage. You hate playing the Royals. I know that. I mean, I think Bobby Witt's one of the best plays on the slate. Elite one-off. But outside of that, I don't know how much I want to 5-man the Royals.
Yeah, I mean, Bobby Witt is obviously a pretty good play. I mean, he's always going to be a good play. But, I mean, the righties against Corbin are something we want. But I don't want to play a Mark Canha. It's just no thanks. I mean, maybe if you like India isn't bad. Maybe if you want to do a little mini India and Witt to fill out some of your infield, maybe even Maikel Garcia. But I think that's really it. I don't even think I want Salvi. I don't want Canha either. I know they're cheap if you wanted to include them in your stack. But, I mean, the Royals just don't hit home runs as a team at all. And, I mean, Corbin is – obviously we like to pick on him in spots. But I I don't know. I just the Royals for me are hard to stack up. I can't do it.
I agree. Hitter rankings pretty much say the same thing. It's Bobby Witt as elite one-off. After that, it's not a team I want too much of. All right.
Yeah, you're right. Burleson and Scott did hit a home run. I was just looking too, but it seemed like that game was so damn boring, Josh, when I was watching it. But yeah, well, they scored 5 in the second, and then they just 1-2, 1-1, 1-1-2 run. They had 13 hits, but yeah, I still think the Cardinals are in a pretty good spot.
Yeah, again, their price tags with their team total, with the bad bullpen behind Burke, a lot adds up. But again, monitor weather in that game. It is orange-yellow for now. A couple games left. Again, first, shout out to everyone watching, all 280 of you watching live, watching on playback. We appreciate it very much. All we ask is like button and the subscribe button. Helps us out a ton. If you have not joined the nation and do want to give us a try, no better time. Most definitely use that code MLB75. If you do join, usually $99 for all of our content, projections, ownership, Saber Sim, and the best Discord around. Take $75 off of $99. You are left with $24 a month, less than $1 a day. And again, you get all of our content, the Saber Sim Core, which allows you to build 250 teams, see 150, and late swap. And of course, you do also get, wrong button, more education courses, all 5 of these. If you're new to MLB, PGA, MMA, whatever it may be, I definitely recommend checking out the videos done by us right there. Chicago Cubs and the Milwaukee Brewers. Let's see what the over-under is. 8, -159 favorites are the Cubs. Again, another game that has weather concerns in Chicago. If it does go, it sounds like a late start and play. This Mizorowski dude, he throws gas, no doubt about that, but he does have control issues, like you said. So I guess it wouldn't be the craziest thing. Looking at this ownership for the Cubs, it makes sense. Low team total, prices are high. But if this, it's a second MLB start. It was a phenomenal first one. He did roll his ankle, though. If he walks guys and doesn't have his control, it's a good lineup that can put it on him in a hurry. So it's probably more of like a 50 teams plus kind of play at that ownership. But if each batter is going to be like 1% owned, I can see a path. And then I'm looking at the hitter rankings, and it's like, man, okay, grading out pretty well. No one's playing them. Good lineup. A guy that could struggle with control. I think you could do worse than the Cubs. I don't love the Brewers, though. What are you doing in this one?
Yeah, you got a rival game here, division game. This kid coming in here, you get a Cubbies team, like I mentioned, they're pretty patient. So I think that's something to be said. But, you look at some of the WOBAs here of some of these guys here on the Cubbies against right-handers. You got Tucker at 380, PCA at 408, Bush 411, Carson Kelly even at 398. And then Happ, Suzuki, and Swanson are all over 300. This kid's definitely got his work cut out for him. This is definitely a major league matchup. That is for sure. So, it could definitely be interesting. I think he starts getting in some walk troubles. He's obviously going to get in trouble. And, like Josh mentioned though, and Kenny, how pricey the Cubs are. That's like yesterday when I wrote the slate plan, I put Dean Kramer in there for only one reason. And you'd figure it out if you tried to stack the Yankees and Dodgers yesterday. You had to use Dean Kramer. There was no other way about it. You couldn't do it. So that's why I had him in there. Like if you wanted to use a stack, like I knew, and I think, that's basically going to be the case with a couple of pitchers we have today. But if you want to go Cubbies, yeah, they are expensive. But I think you're going to get him pretty low owned against a pitcher who's in his second major league start and could get beat up. The Cubs are obviously one of the best offenses in baseball.
Yeah, and again, that's why it'd be really hard for me to get there in single entry and only 3 to 5 teams. But if they go out and they put up 13 runs, pricing probably doesn't matter. And we said you could play Taj Bradley, Sonny Gray, and maybe get some of these Cubs. Again, it's more just at ownership with control issues in the second start or possible control issues in his second MLB start with this lineup, with these hitter rankings. I think it should be a part of your MME portfolio. Guys like Kenny that plays one team high stakes, you just can't get to the Cubs in a 10-man field. I think that'd be too off the board. Larger field stuff, though, I think it's very solid. Single entry that has 5,000 people, like I don't know what the $1, the $2, whatever it is. Yeah, that I'd be fine doing it something like that. I wouldn't play the Cubs with like a 800 person contest or less. So that's how I see the Cubs right there.
I would be interested to know if Mizrowski with that ankle, if it hindered him at all during the week with his workouts. Because I've mentioned before, like pitchers are creatures of habit. When they start getting out of their habits, they tend to not do as well. So, like, didn't we talk here? It was recent. Well, I forgot who it was. Skipped the start. And
it was you
like
and Nate, I remember. Later.
Yeah. And
I can't remember who it was. You and Nate talked about it the prior show because you brought it up the day after.
Yeah,
I can't remember who it was.
It kind of gets you in a spot where you got to kind of start thinking, like when they get off their kind of rhythm. I'm just curious. I don't know if he did or not, but like if he had to miss a day or two, throwing or anything, or that could totally affect him. Like if he didn't really have any workout and they're just going to roll him back out there, I mean, that definitely could affect him. So, I mean, I don't know what the circumstance is, but I'd kind of be intrigued to know that.
Yeah, I mean, it definitely went down. Like, yeah, I mean, if you're 50, like if you're older and you didn't stretch your ankles, like his shit might have broke. I mean, it went boom. You could see how flexible the tendons.
Dude, I wouldn't still be able to walk.
Yeah, my shit would be.
I'd be eating gummies all damn day, so I could just probably keep going around the neighborhood.
Yeah, it was crazy. That thing went all like
that was like Tony Finau. Remember that? Tony Finau when he got the hole-in-one at the Masters, like during the par 3 thing, and he was running down there and he freaking literally like rolled his ankle like no tomorrow. I was like, and he played golf too after. That was amazing.
All right, Sheets, we will get to that after these next 3 games. I will be thinking about it. We'll group these two together coming up on an hour. Guardians, Giants, and the Stros, the Athletics. Obviously, the Astros will get ownership. Not quite as much as maybe the last 2 nights. They're definitely going to be owned, though. It's really, really warm in Sacramento. What are we looking at? Like 100 degrees, wind blowing out a little bit. I mean, actually, I'll answer that right away. Mine would be, I guess Texas isn't the worst, but mine would be the A's probably, because I think Framber will be the second highest owned. This A's lineup isn't awful, but mainly just with the weather. Like if these balls are going to be flying 100 degrees, I don't love picking on Framber, but I definitely don't love picking on Sale. I like Bubic. I like Sonny Gray. It would either be Texas or the A's. But yeah, with this run total, I think I would, and with Framber probably being higher owned than Bubic and Sonny Gray, I'll say the A's for the answer for me. I definitely don't love it, those Sheets. Yeah, Astros, Guardians, Giants, A's. What do you like or what do you don't like?
Yeah, I mean, just kind of looking here at the Guardians and, getting the Giants. I'm not interested in the Giants here. I mean, we don't like the park to begin with. We got a low total of 8. I'm not interested in any San Fran bats. Cleveland against the Indians here against Verlander. I mean, we got a guy coming back off injury. How long is he going to go? And then you're going to get San Francisco bullpen that's best in MLB. So I'm not really interested in any of the Indians or the Giants. I mean, maybe if you wanted to pull somebody out, for Verlander, but you might only get 1 or 2 at bats against them. And I mean, his K percentage obviously has dropped as he's been old, getting older here. He's been walking more lefties here recent times. Fly ball percentages are up to righties. I mean, I guess like Jose Ramirez, you could always play him, but there's just really not too much there. But this Houston and Oakland game, I think, is interesting. Like you mentioned, going against Valdez, just because of the weather alone. Title it being 100 degrees, small park. I mean, that would be a reason to go after Framber to begin with. But I mean, Framber has a top 5 bullpen behind him too. And then on the other side, I mean, the A's are the absolute worst bullpen. So, I mean, Houston, obviously, you're looking at their lineup like yesterday. I mean, generally, I don't like Houston. I almost have them in the same kind of bucket as the Royals. But with it being as warm as it was, hot as it is out there in Sacramento, I mean, it's just hard to ignore them. We'll give a shout out to Nades yesterday, called the Cam Smith, ended up having 2 bombs. But, I mean, I think I think the Astros are in play. They won't be as highly owned, but I think you just kind of got to I don't mind the Astros going right back to him again. I mean, this bullpen is just awful. They're just not good at all. Severino, he's just not good either. But I mean, Severino's frustrating. I've stacked against him many times here in the last few years, and then he goes out and dials up 5 good innings on you. But this bullpen's so bad behind it. Even if Severino throws 4 good innings, I get 5 innings against the worst bullpen in baseball. They can easily get the job done in the second half of a game. So, I think the Astros they're one of the top stacks today for sure.
I like the Yankees and the Braves more, and I think all of them will kind of eat into each other's ownership. So I'm going to say underweight Astros. I don't love it, no. But Severino, a ground ball pitcher. The bottom half of the order, Cam Smith. But I don't love playing Dubon. There's Jake Myers, Caratini's fine, I guess, but I don't love it. It's mainly I'm fading 1 through 5, and maybe Cam Smith down there. I don't think he's going to double dong again. And they're going to be them, the Yankees, the Braves are all going to, and the Cardinals, all going to be pretty high owned. And I think I prefer every other team more than the Astros. And again, it's the weather that's bringing me into the Astros. But if it was 75 degree day, maybe this run totals down to 4.8 or something. So I'm just going to hope Severino pitches solid to start. The poor bullpen, guaranteed 9th inning at bats and weather. Yeah, that's why the Astros do have a 5.13 implied total. But hitter rankings aren't great. Ownership will be there. It's very easy to get them pricing wise. Framber, Sale. You can 5-man some of these this lineup as well, no one above 5K. So
the other thing too, Title, yesterday, Sears only went 3 innings yesterday. They had to get 6 innings out of that bullpen, the worst bullpen. So, they used 5 guys yesterday. They all went an inning plus. So
good show.
That's another thing too.
Good show. All right. Last game of the slate, San Diego Padres and the Los Angeles Dodgers. We are looking at a 9 total, some juice on the under. Minus 247 favorites are the Dodgers. No way I'm playing the Padres. Again, it's Sheehan starting, and then it looks like Roblowski as the long reliever. I'm just with a good bullpen behind. Padres also have a really good bullpen. However, if you can get to this Kolek guy early, similar to kind of what the Dodgers did yesterday, you won't get the best arms in the bullpen. The lineup's amazing. Ownership will be in check because they're very expensive, and people want to spend up at bats. Hitter rankings grayed out. Again, shout out Cheats, 100K richer because of these Dodgers yesterday. Kolek looks to be a ground ball pitcher. He is a ground ball pitcher. He doesn't miss many bats, though, and it's not a team you love to play when you can't miss many bats. So I think the Dodgers are firmly in play, but when you play them, again, I would think Taj Bradley will be so popular with the Dodgers guys. I think he's probably the most popular pitcher when you play the Dodgers because you need salary relief. So maybe if I'm hand building, I'm less likely to play Bradley if I'm 5-manning the Dodgers. Any thoughts on Dodgers, how they rank amongst the Braves, the Stros, the Yankees? And then when you play them, who are your favorite bats? How would you play them?
I got the Braves, Yankees. I'd probably even put the Cards ahead of the Dodgers. Maybe the Dodgers and Astros would be pretty close for me. But I think the Dodgers, I like the lefties. You look at Kolek here. His strikeout percentage is 12%, 20 for righties, 21% to lefties. So he's a little bit below even the lefties major league average. But he's got a 15% walk percentage to lefties, a 385 WOBA. He is a ground ball, 50% plus to both sides of the plate. But, I like some of these, you look at some of the fly ball percentages here for the Dodgers. And, Shohei, 36, Mookie, 37, Freddie, 30. Well, we could do a little better than that. Will Smith, 38, Muncy, 39. There's a lot of fly balls here in this Dodger lineup that I like. So I got the Dodgers, and I'd have them in my top 5 today in my stacks. They're the Dodgers. So I definitely like me some Dodgers. They're obviously expensive. Like I said yesterday, if you wanted to go Yankees and Dodgers, you pretty much had to use Dean Kramer. But I think the Dodgers are definitely worth paying up for. Now, between Dodgers and Cubs, I'm definitely going Dodgers. But
Cubs are the pivot of
a stack. But
Cubs are the pivot of the pivot because Dodgers are not going to be high owned by at all. But if people are spending down and have the money, like if they really need to spend up, it's the Dodgers. And the Cubs are the pivot off of that are completely unowned. Someone asked, like, would you consider Andrew Martinez? Hope you're doing well. Bradley Yarbrough and stack all the bats. It'd probably be over 20 teams for me. Because again, I like making that rule one of Sonny, Bubik, Sale, and Framber. But I don't think it's awful. Like Bradley Yarbrough, and you get the 5 Dodgers. Bradley gets you 16, 17. Yarbrough gets you 14, 15. Dodgers get you 10. I can see a path, so I don't think it's crazy. But yeah, I prefer Yankees and Braves to the Dodgers and the Astros if I'm picking that way. And I do like Tampa. Someone asked. Tampa Bay is one of my favorite stacks as well. Any final thoughts, Gyiraszin? Again, first of all, no better time to get in. MLB 75, $24, less than $1 a day for your first month for ownership. Projections, Saber Sim, and Optimizer. I mean, I mentioned it on one show, but I wish that happened back in 2016 when I was a senior in high school or something, being able to only pay $24 for projections, ownership, and Optimizer, Discord. I would have absolutely loved that. Definitely not the case, but that was our goal at SHIPIT Nation. Pay less for content, play more in your contests. We are very happy at what we've been able to do. And again, we'd love to have you. MLB 75 is the code. Final thoughts, Gyiraszin, before we get on out here.
You know what? We'll try to give a little home run, a little call for you. I think Cody Bellinger is going to go yard for us today. So Cody is one of my favorite Yankees over there, but I do like some Yankees today to bounce back. But we'll see. I get it if you're a little sunburned on those guys. I understand. But yeah, title. Let's keep it high. As you mentioned, we just came off a big golf weekend. I was thinking, shit, if I got out there and played that U.S. Open course, I might as well. I mean, if I ever hit it in the rough, I would just take it out. I would just drop. I wouldn't even just try to do, because I'd break my damn wrist trying to hit it out of that shit. So I don't even know how them dudes do that, but it was fun. That's definitely fun. I definitely love watching golf when a guy like Rory is smashing his clubs, because it makes me feel good. So, because, there's many times I've wanted to throw my 56-degree wedge all the way across the sand trap a few times, but, calmer heads prevailed. That's why I smoke weed, because then if I did, that club would be up in the tree, title. But, yeah, I mean, hey, good times here at SHIPIT Nation. I do want to say I appreciate, I know we, with the fuck cancer counter that we had going on. I mean, it's just great to see everybody coming together. And man, that live stream we did with they did the tribute to the big man in the sky. I thought that was pretty special. But yeah, but again, hey, we're gonna get to this slate. We're gonna get us some cheese tonight. I already got it. We're gonna count it out like my man Sheets counting out 100 Ks. I mean, let's count it out, Sheets. We got all kinds of money. Let's do it up.
Let's do it. Good stuff, Gyiraszin. Always love talking baseball with you. You have a good night. Everybody else, you also have a great night. Hope to see some SHIPIT Nation logos to the top for my man Gyiraszin. I'm Titletown. Be safe. We'll be back tomorrow. Peace.